All right, so here's how we helped a branded merch company generate 14 qualified leads in their first 7 campaign running days with cold emails. So we recently started working with this New York-based branded merch company, and they initially had a problem where they were doing LinkedIn outbound, but they were just not getting enough leads. Most of their prospects were coming from either referrals, word of mouth, or LinkedIn, or clients buying the end, but they just didn't get enough volume to hit the real number of leads that they needed to grow their revenue. So I'm going to break down how we did it in 3 steps. So first, when we came to them, we basically started helping them with the target market, finding out who to reach out to and which and what to offer them. And here's how it worked. So we analyzed their past clients because we really wanted to see what was the market that bought from them the most, because most branded merch companies will just go on Apollo, build a list of random companies, and then just start blasting generic emails about promotional products. And they just wonder why they're not getting they're getting commoditized and price shopped. So instead, we actually did deep research. We found out who their top customers was and why they actually bought from them. And the reason was very simply the ones who bought the most were mid-market CPG food and beverage brands. And then the reason why they bought is because they wanted to incentivize a certain prospect in their sales cycle, which we cannot name because, due to competitive reasons. But let's just say it's like a key group that directly impacted their sales. And the outcome that they wanted was simple. They wanted to give them promotional products. They wanted to use it as a tool to get this specific group to push their products more aggressively and get them more sales, these CPG brands. And so we basically had a proven use case that we could build our entire offer around. And how we positioned this offer was we knew who to target, why they bought. We wanted to position it in a way where instead of saying, hey, do you need promotional products? We wanted to be very specific. So we said, we can produce promotional products for this specific group to help them push your products and increase sales. So we wanted to be very specific because this becomes a completely different conversation. Instead of being a commodity vendor who just puts logos on products, we're now making the client a strategic partner who understands their business and has a solution to a specific problem. But then we actually took it a step further. And instead of just offering promotional products, we decided to offer a specific trending product at the time. So we wanted to say, hey, we'll produce these products for you for this use case. And that's what we ended up doing. And we can't name it, obviously, for the competitive edge it gives, but it was kind of packaged it to a complete sort of solution of these specific types of products with your branding on it, and it made it even easier for them to imagine it, which is more interesting. But this is all just, the fluff, right? It's the stuff in the air, it's the offer, but what actually tangibly happened. So once we decided the offer, what we did was, and we also added increased sales because that was the real desired outcome that they wanted the offer with. So you always want to tie what you do to what makes them more money and what gets them more revenue, etc., because that's the only stuff that people care about. That's why they buy promotional products. And then for step 2, once we had everything, all the fluff, we actually put it into a tangible email. So this is what it looked like. Have your first name. We can produce product name that have creative description for use case to help you with benefit. Would you like a sample to check out? So here's why it worked. It was direct, short and sweet, risk-free, right? We are not being vague. We're not being weird. We're not writing ChatGPT emails, right? We're just being clear about what we actually do. So let me break it down. So for product name, this is where we basically said, the branded and then insert the products that we wanted to offer. And the key is to be very specific. Don't just say promotional products. I know you think that, prospects want what they want and you can't give them ideas, but that is totally not true. If they're just looking for what they want, they're going to go to the cheapest option or the most trusted option. But if they see an idea, you are now a strategist, not a commodity provider. So always remember that. And then for creative description, so we're just giving them more information. And this is like a template. This isn't the exact, formula we went with, but it's very close. And it gets the same result pretty much. So creative description is basically like, hey, we can create 100 Yetis with your company's branding that have like stainless steel matte black finish, whatever it is, right? So you want to have them visualize it and get excited about these products. Don't forget that you're in an industry where you are allowed to be as creative as possible. So be creative with the offers you're reaching out with, right? Don't become this corporate branded merch company because no one cares about that. And then for a use case, this is basically like, hey, we'll create them for your upcoming event, for your X, Y, and Z, just the thing that they have previously bought the most. So once we analyzed their clients, it was obviously that most people bought because they wanted to incentivize X prospect. So we said, hey, for you to incentivize your distributor, in your sales cycle, whatever, right? So that was why we did it. Use case, in the use case, you just want to say why they actually buy it, and then to help you with benefits, so to help you increase revenue, get more employee satisfaction, decrease turnover, increase retention, increase referrals, right? What do they actually care about? This is the business benefit. And then the free sample. So we would say, hey, would you like a sample to check out? This works for two reasons. First of all, it makes it very easy to say yes. And also, instead of them committing to a big order, they can just say, yeah, send me a sample. And what it allows for you to do is, and this is the second reason that it's very beneficial, is it allows you to demonstrate your quality upfront. And that's what it's doing with our client, because once they say yes, we ask them, okay, let's hop on a call. Let's go through design options. Let's talk about bigger packages for what you have coming up, whatever. And so it makes it easier to get through the door and start the conversation. But at the same time, it gets them more likely to hop on the call because they have an incentive to do so and show up excited, right? And then once the client, like our client, hops on a call with them, qualifies that they're a vetted good prospect, then he can create the sample for them and all that stuff. So you're never going to take the sample to waste. And then you can always add a PS line. We didn't do it here, but with like some social proof, that also works. But anyways, so that's the email template. Now, we had an email that we need to send to people, but obviously we need the people to send emails to, and we also need an automated sending platform to send these cold emails. Because remember, this is a cold email campaign we're running for the client. So here are the systems we use. First of all, for prospect lists, what we did was we used Clay to find accounts and decision makers first. So we found the accounts from like the LinkedIn URLs and the domains, and then we found the decision makers within the accounts. So we also use Apollo for this, but Apollo and Clay are pretty good themselves. I like them more than, ZoomInfo, Seamless, because they seem to be very expensive. And these are just budget friendly. So with Clay, we found the, company sizes, industry, location, job titles. We filtered for all that stuff. Then once we had the names of the prospects, we had like thousands. We then used Lead Magic or Find Email or even Prospeo. All of these are good. My team built it, and I don't know exactly what they use. They use like one of those three. But for the most part, they probably did use Find Email. This is the main one we're using to find prospects' emails now, but this is within Clay. So you can use this integration inside of Clay to find the decision makers that you find email addresses, and it just finds most of them. And then once we have the decision maker emails, we verified it with Million Verifier, just to remove the invalid emails so that you don't send messages to emails that are going to bounce back, because your sender reputation would tank and you would start landing in spam. And so that's what we did for the prospect list. Once we had the prospect list to reach out to, we plugged it into Smartlead to set up the automated email campaign. Smartlead is a very good tool for cold email. Allows you to manage multiple inboxes, warm up your domain, send emails at scale. Integrates with HubSpot, so it's pretty good. So we're trying to send 2,000 emails a day. That's the aim with this client. And we launched the campaign from Smartlead, and from there we generated those 14 qualified leads within 7 campaign days of running. And it's been amazing, and the client has enjoyed the leads. So that's pretty much it. If you want us to build you an outbound email plus calling system that books you 20 to 40 meetings a month, and you can book a demo with me below. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how creative you want to get with your offering. But we're going to help you set up the whole system and get quality leads through your door. Hope you enjoyed the video. Branded merch companies and marketing agencies, and I'll see you soon.